Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of CLX Foundry Live. My name is Paul Steffens. I'm the lead technical expert on the show, and with me is our master builder, Zach Killingsworth. Today we are down DJ, so it's just going to be us here in the studio getting things together. So before we get started on this build, we're going to talk a little bit about our giveaway. This is the last live show before the giveaway is drawn. So there's the graphic on your screen right there. Oh, and it's coming back. This is the beautiful build that we have behind us. So a ton of goodies in this build. Comes with that awesome chair, joysticks, rudder pedals, the whole setup. So appreciate to all of our partners that joined us on that. So be sure to look out for codes today, and it might be your last chance to get in on it. So we'll see what happens on Thursday. Yeah, you can see it right back there behind us. So, starting out for today's build, we have a custom CLX set for Monique in Louisiana. She has custom configured a set off our website. So we'll start with our processor. We've got the Intel Core i9-14900KF. To cool that, we've got the CLX Quench 360 AIO in black. For our motherboard, we've got the MSI B760 Gaming Plus Wi-Fi. This is a DDR5 board, so for our memory we have 2 sticks of Patriot Viper 32GB DDR5 5600 speed. You can see it down there on the bottom left of your screen. This does have the RGB heat spreaders, really good looking memory. And for our storage drive, we have one crucial 4TB NVMe M.2 drive. Believe that might be the highest capacity M.2 we offer in that 4TB. So
I think so.
Yeah, very large M.2 drive. I'm jealous of that. Would love to have one of those in my system at home. For our video card today, we've got this massive RTX 4080 from Gigabyte. This is their Eagle version, so very big, triple fan. Yeah, we had to make sure it would fit inside this case, and it does. It'll be a little tight, but we can definitely get it in there. For our case, we have the white obelisk. Beautiful case. We've had this for a bit now, but this is on the newer end of the side of things. The customer did decide to upgrade to Intermax fans, so they are these white 120mm fans. We'll talk about those a little bit further, so we'll be pulling the fans out that are inside of this case. And for our power supply, we've got a 1000 watt EVGA GT. This is 80 plus gold, is modular, and does have these fancy black and green cables that are going with it. So me and Zach are both really excited to get this thing put together. So we will just get right into it. We'll start prepping our case and then move on to our motherboard after that. So hope everybody's having a good day. Reminder, if you guys have any questions about anything PC related, just ask us. We will do our best to answer. Most likely we can answer all of them pretty well. All right, so starting out with this case, this case comes with 4 fans in it, and it does come with a couple anti-sag brackets. So part of the case prepping, you can see we're going to pull one out now. We like to take these out while we're building. This one sits in the front there, kind of right by this hole. So we like to get this out and out of the way, and there's another one built into the back as well. So we're going to go ahead and take those out, and then we're also going to remove these fans since the customer did upgrade. What's up, LA artist? You had a question a few days ago but forgot what you wanted to ask. Well, hopefully you remember within the next couple hours and we'll get you taken care of. So something else about this case while Zach's pulling these fans out. Now, when we have a Game DS case and we use Game DS fans, it uses this controller, and this comes built into the case. Now, since we are upgrading to these Intermax fans, these will not be using this controller, so I believe we're just going to pull that controller completely out just to clean it up and make it look a little nicer. What's up, Damon? Sasko, how y'all doing? I guess I can start getting these parts put to the side. I'm doing good.
Oh yeah.
What's new in the life of Zach today?
Well, I was supposed to go fishing with Dad last weekend, but I had a couple too many beverages.
Oh yeah.
He could make it over to pick me up, so I was not able to go. So our birthdays are coming up, so he's wanting to go get a fishing trip in.
You guys have birthdays around the same date?
Yeah.
When is that?
His is the 12th and mine's the 22nd.
Of this month?
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
You know, we get one day older, one day at a time, so.
That's right. Why the GPU isn't white? That's your question? Yeah, that's a good question. It's what the customer picked. The white cards are a little bit more expensive, so I totally get why people don't want to opt for that if it's not within their budget. White cards do look nice though. Queso Goblin, what's up, man? V. Luar, hello, can I have a graphics card? Of course you can. Just place an order through our website and we'll get you taken care of.
Or grab that code that Ivory just gave out a little bit ago and, you know, win this sweet thing behind us. That's
yeah.
a graphics card in it.
That's a good way to get one right there. Would recommend. All right, so now that we've got our case prepped and fans taken out and all that goodies, we're gonna get into our motherboards. Like I said before, this is an MSI B760 Gaming Plus Wi-Fi. So it's gonna come with Wi-Fi on board. The B760 is kind of in that mid-range as far as motherboards go. Really reliable, it's gonna perform really well. And if you don't care about a ton of accessories on your motherboard, it's a really good option to go with. So starting out with the motherboard, we're going to go over the I/O panel for a little bit. So at the top of the screen there, we have our legacy PS2 connector. For any of you old school mouse and keyboard enjoyers, you can plug it in here. Then below that, we've got a couple USB 2.0s. Under that, we have our video output. So we have a display port and an HDMI. And below that, we've got our Ethernet port and then our USB 3.0s under that. Then going down a little further, we've got the 2.0s and a Type-C on the back. Then under that, we've got our Wi-Fi Bluetooth antennas, and then our whole suite of audio ports as well. So a lot of connectivity on this board. Overall, I really like the aesthetics. Got good heat shielding. I like the colors on it. It's gonna pop in this white case as well. So I/O shield does come not installed on the motherboard, so we will be installing that in the case once we get going. And first things first, we're going to be dropping in our processor. So for our processor today, this is an i9-14900KF. It is a 24-core, 32-thread processor, top of the line Intel right here. This thing's going to perform any task you throw at it really well. It's got 8 performance cores that have hyper-threading on them, 16 efficiency cores, comes with a base speed of 3.2, and it will boost all the way up to 6.0 as long as you can keep it cool. Hello Gonzo, working on your build on y'all's site now. Keep changing something every time you visit it. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, and your birthday's on the 20th.
Nice.
Well, if you were here, you'd have to join the fishing trip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, our website's a lot of fun to play around with. Even us that work here, we like to get on there and build like a crazy expensive build just for funsies. What's up, Jimmy? How you doing? Why it look curved? What looks curved? I might have been a little bit late. The motherboard?
Yeah, so we kind of have a slight.
Oh yeah, it does have a little slight blow in it. Yeah, it's just manufacturing from the factory that does that. Nothing to worry about. Once you get it secured inside the case, it's not going to be an issue. All right, so we've got our bracket on for our AIO, so that's what we'll get into next. So an AIO stands for all-in-one. It is this radiator that Zach's handling right now. So we've obviously got a radiator here, our tubes going into our pump, and it is all contained. So this comes with coolant in it. You don't got to mess with it at all. You just grab the right set of hardware that matches your motherboard socket, install it, and you are good to go. These AIOs are a great way to cool your CPU that isn't too complicated. Doing well, just wish your system didn't die. Oh, pour one out. I think your system just died, right, Zach?
Yeah,
Not to
my
bring up
system
the bad
just
stuff.
died. I don't know. I have such a huge heat sink on there, and that I have to like pull everything out to change my cables to test my power supply.
Oh yeah.
And I have a second power supply, so I need to do that. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
And my workspace at home is not like my workspace at work.
Yeah.
I know. It's very small. It's pretty much the chair.
Yeah. One folding chairs,
Yeah.
square footage. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and we're gonna put the glass behind it so we don't break it.
Yeah. Yeah. Power surge took out the board on Jimmy's system.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that
That sounds similar to what happened to me.
Hello, Ginger Ale. Hi, guys. Do you guys prefer MSI Mobo? What do you think of Gigabyte? Yeah, so we work with a lot of brands here, so we're not partial to any one specific brand. MSI is a great brand. They make great boards, great cards. We've been carrying their power supplies recently too, and really like those. So MSI solid. Gigabyte is also solid. We've done a lot of builds with Gigabyte and Aorus. They provide really great boards. Any of these top name brands, Gigabyte, MSI, Asus, I know ASRock, I'm sure I'm missing out a couple on there. They're all really solid, reliable products. So
I like the Steel Legends because
Steel
of
Legends
the
are nice.
RGB aesthetic on those. I'm not a big RGB person, but the subtleties that they have looks pretty good.
yeah, I agree. I like that, their color scheme. All right, so next up we've got our memory. So we have 2 sticks of Patriot Viper. Each stick is 32 gigabytes, which gives us a total of 64 in our system. It is DDR5 and it is 5600 speed. Actually, these aesthetics match the board really nicely, and the RGB is going to pop as well. So next up, our board is almost complete, but we're gonna add our M.2 drive in next. So this is a 4 terabyte NVMe drive from Crucial. So some motherboards are gonna have a heat shield for your M.2. That's what Zach's taking off right now that you guys can see. And under that is our M.2 slot. So we always prefer using the top slot for your M.2 drive if you just have one. If you got a couple, you wanna put that faster one in the top slot because it's gonna read there first. So we've got that going. If your motherboard doesn't have the heat spreader on it, you can just have your M.2 there. They don't need a heat spreader. It just adds, a little bit extra cooling element. Looks a little bit nicer in your system. Jimmy, you built yours in 2013. Nice. Yeah, that's
some time.
How is that a decade already? Ooh. Is today green or purple for the? It is the green side. Yep. So under that heat shield, there's typically, that's the thermal pad right there, which provides about the same function as thermal paste. It's just a lot less messy. So typically there's a clear film of plastic. You definitely want to take that off before you reinstall this onto your drive. Easy peasy. M.2s are great because you don't have to run any cables for your drives. You just slot them in, put the screw down, and you're good to go. Yeah, so next up, before we put this board in the case, we're gonna go ahead and put our fans on our AIO. So this customer has upgraded to these Intermax 120 fans. They did pick white. There are black and white versions of these. And these fans are really nice. They push through a lot of air. And something that's kind of unique about these that we don't see too often are the cables. So this has a typical 4-pin, or I should say a traditional 4-pin fan header for this. And then it also has an RGB cable as well. So we can daisy these all together and tie them into the motherboard a little bit later. Hello Mint, what is a SATA SSD? Good question. So a SATA SSD typically is going to be a 2.5-inch drive, smaller than the old school hard drive, mechanical. versions that are 3.5 inch. They're a little bit smaller, and essentially it's the same thing as an M.2, except for it uses SATA power and SATA data to obviously power the drive and transfer the data. Now the SATA speeds are slower than NVMe, which is what this M.2 is, but it's still going to be way faster than a mechanical drive. Thanks for the info. Building a PC is really fun. I go back to the 386 days. Technology has gone fast. Yeah, it's ever changing. Anytime we get like a, like a 4090 that's got like 24 gigs of VRAM on it, it's just like, geez. Yeah. I remember when 2 was a lot.
I think RAM is the crazy thing, because like Corsair has their crazy like 24 gigabytes and like 48 gigabyte sticks, and you're like, what? And then like the 6,000 speed of memory is
yeah.
From like DDR4 to now, it's like just mind blowing on how fast they go.
Yeah, like fast speed for DDR4 was like 3,000, 3,200, 3,600 even. And DDR4 is just like double that. Hello expectation. They sell coolers for M.2 I've seen, but why would you need one? That's a good question. So really for your M.2s, what you see my hand on right here, this is our heatsink for it. There are aftermarket coolers. I wouldn't say that you need them by any means. A lot of time they'll add in some like RGB elements, so it can be more of like an aesthetic thing. That being said, it does keep the drive a little bit cooler, which is going to make it last a little bit longer, but your M.2 drive isn't something that really gets that hot, so that's why it's not totally necessary. Alright, so we're going to be dropping our motherboard into our case next, but since this motherboard doesn't have a built-in I/O shield, we'll be installing that I/O shield first. So most motherboards now come with the I/O shield pre-installed on the board. It's kind of screwed in, you don't gotta mess with it, but some boards still come with this metal I/O shield. So when you're handling these, you want to be pretty careful. Those edges are very sharp. I've definitely used it to open a few boxes before, and I've sliced my thumb pretty good when I was ripping them open. So main thing with these is you just want to make sure you bend back the tabs on them that are covering typically the Ethernet port, sometimes the video out ports. That way it's not blocked when you're putting your motherboard in like we are right now. And then you just push it into place. You'll hear a few satisfying snaps. That'll let you know it's in there. I had an expansion board with RAM, a whole 8 megs. Oh man, back in the meg days. I'm just Jay, how you doing, man? How much does a computer like that cost you building now? I'm not sure exactly the cost on this. We can definitely get you a link with all the specs that have it, but this is a pretty high-end build going with the i9 and the 4080. It's probably, at least a few grand right here. But this is on the high-end side for sure. Hello, Gleam Bites. Your M.2 has a graphene heat diffuser. It looks like a sticker.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. The beard of knowledge. That's how much your first video card had, was 8 megs. Yep.
Oh, good old classic Java.
Playing games in your internet browser back in those beautiful days. Uh-oh, Nightbot got somebody. Alright, so we've got our motherboard in our case now. That's what Zach is mounting. So you can see these screws he's putting in. Those are our motherboard mounting screws. And so those are actually screwed into standoffs, which is what the motherboard is sitting on. So when you're installing your motherboard inside your case, there's going to be some standoffs that your motherboard's going to sit on. And the reason those are there is you don't want the back of your motherboard touching the bare metal of your chassis, because it can obviously cause some shorting out. So that's what those screws do. And since those are all tightened down, we're going to move to our AIO next. We are going to be mounting the AIO in the top of this case. We could also mount it in the front, but when we were looking at this build, we decided to go with the top because this video card is pretty large and we want to keep as much room in the front of the case as possible. So Zach's got our fan wires here that are already mounted to the radiator. So it's a lot easier to run those cables through the holes in the top of the chassis and then pull them through and get your radiator up there, as opposed to mounting your radiator and trying to fish those cables through. Jimmy misses playing on the old Commodore 64. Yeah, that does date you a bit, Jimmy. I don't think I ever played anything on that. I think that was even before my time. I want to say our first operating system was like Windows 95 that I ever used. So
it's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Blue Fed. Remember when the bigger games on Shockwave had a small puzzle game to play while the rest of the game loaded on dial-up? Could always be playing your, your Microsoft pinball.
Mm-hmm.
That was a classic. Man. A lot of you guys are making me feel young right now talking about these Commodore 64s. Build the Scene says the C64 was my first computer that I owned, but I played on some older Tandies. I don't even know what a Tandy is. Do you know what a Tandy is? It's a Radio Shack? Okay. I remember Radio Shack. I do remember Radio Shack.
So we were talking about first consoles this weekend at family dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And my uncle about fell out the chair when you had to buy your first 64 with your own money?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know we did that to you. That's child abuse.
Come on, man. Oh, man.
Well, Mom had some crazy rules for consoles.
Yeah, you're talking Nintendo 64? Yeah. See, that was my first real, gaming console. Went hard on the Nintendo 64. LA Artist, what do you recommend to do when you get a new PC, like changing any settings, etc.? Yeah, so that's going to depend on where you got your PC from or if you built it yourself. So if you buy one through us, we go ahead and take care of all those settings for you. So your BIOS is set. We change a few things to make sure that it's booting up really fast and all that. And then, if there's any other aesthetics within the operating system, you can change those on your own. But if you are building a PC on your own, you get it powered on. The first thing you want to do is get into the BIOS, make sure your RAM speed is set correctly. So let's say you got a DDR4 system and you bought 3600 speed memory. Well, when you boot your system up, most likely that DDR4 is going to default to 2133 speed, which is fine and everything will function, but you paid for 3600 speed, so you might as well use it. So there's a couple things in BIOS you can do. You can turn off a couple of the animations that pop up when your screen's booting, just so that it boots up a little bit faster. And then obviously, get an internet connection, download your drivers and all that stuff. Firecracker had a Pong. Yeah, Ivory still got his N64. I do as well. I actually have 2 functional N64s in my house. Because I think when we moved, I packed one away and forgot about it. Didn't know where it was, so I bought another one. Can't ever have too many N64s,
nope,
though.
You can never have too many 64s.
Yeah.
That is not a problem. The problem is, can you have enough CRTs to play them?
True.
That is.
I don't have a CRT. Maybe one day. Turn the basement into a retro arcade thing. Parachute and Pilot Wings 64 equals Fortnite drop. True. They stole it from Pilot Wings. I remember renting Pilot Wings from Blockbuster, and I did not understand the game, and I did not have a good time. It's this game is terrible. And then I think it's on the Switch emulator now, so I was playing it. I was oh, this game's pretty good.
Yeah, since I lost my computer, I was looking at a Switch Lite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, we don't have internet at the house, but I read that you can connect up to 8 Switches and Switch Lights together.
Really? Okay.
And do local play.
Okay, yeah.
I'm So
No, I think the Switch is a great console. I've got mine. I mean, you've seen me bring it in here. I go through spurts of it. You know, I won't play it for a few months and then do it. If they put the Pokemon on the Game Boy emulator, man, I'd be all about it because I'm still using the Game Boys. But Blue Feb says, I have all the N64s we had in my house as a kid. I think I've got a green one with the expansion RAM and an orange one and a gray one. That's awesome.
Nice.
I loved those colors they brought out. I have two of the basic, just like the black and gray ones, you know, the standard ones.
I had bought the Pikachu edition one, so mine was like blue and green.
Oh yeah, it had the Pikachu like power button or reset button. Oh, and its cheek was like the red light. Yeah, that was awesome.
That was a Toys R Us special one weekend.
Oh yeah, Toys R Us. Oh man, love going to Toys R Us and looking at all the games.
I'm trying to undate us, Paul.
Yeah. Big Tree Wizard, I joined at the right time. CRT is amazing. Motion is incredible and worth it. At least buy a dirt cheap PC CRT to start with. There you go. Yeah, I'm sure you can find them all over the marketplaces for really cheap. Get one that's functional. Damon plays Zelda and that's about it. That's fair. If you're going to have one thing to play, that's probably a good one. Yeah, CRT is heavy. Ooh, moving those to a LAN party takes some serious work.
But you know, you're dedicated because it's a LAN party.
That's right. You're committing. You got to make it the whole weekend. It can't be a one night thing.
Yeah.
It's got to be a Friday through Sunday thing.
Case of Mountain Dew, a family-sized bag of Cheetos.
Buy some sketchy Surges off Amazon. Get a 12-pack of Surge. The Perza, your first game was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Nice. Like the arcade cabinet one. I remember playing those at like Chuck E. Cheese. That was so awesome. Yeah, oh yeah, we had a whole slew of 90s themed build on our Evolve X's a few years back, and we've got them showcasing in our other room right now. They look great. Oh my gosh, Only Artist. I remember when we had some old console probably like 20 years ago. My mom put it into bags and my sister thought it's trash, so she took it out. So it was like gone, like it's in the trash forever. Oof. Hey Cosworker, how you doing? Have you seen the articles about crazy CRT with a better performance than current gaming monitors? Yeah, I've seen those. I know a lot of, old school FPS players will like to use them. I don't think I could ever go back for like a permanent thing, but playing some retro games on it would be fun. Hey Dance Fox, crossing your fingers to win. Been playing console and miss playing on PC. Well, good luck to you. You only got a little bit more time to get those entries in, so. Fire Hazard 12260. Do you have to be on stream on the final day of the giveaway? No, you do not have to be on stream or in chat to get the giveaway. However, after we do the drawing, an email will get sent out, and you do have 24 hours to respond to that email. And if you don't, we will redraw a new winner. All right, so while we've been blabbing about some retro games, Zach, you've gotten pretty far on the build. So we've got our case cables ran, and these look, perfect. Like, look at this, guys. Look at the cable management on this. So these are all of our case cables. So coming out of the top here, we've got our USB ports. We've got a Type-C, headphone and mic jack as well with our power button and all this good stuff. So these are the cables that Zach has ran, plugged into the motherboard and done what we needed to, and then tied them up. So that looks so clean just doing that. Typically this area right here is where that fan controller box was that we talked a little bit about, and we obviously removed that. Rest of the fans. Yeah. All right, so we've got our motherboard mounted, AIO is mounted with fans installed, case cables are ran, so now what Zach's moving on to next are the rest of our case fans. So this build does have 7 total fans of these Intermax White 120s. These things look great when they're turned on. And so with these fans though, like I said a little bit earlier, each one of these has 2 cables coming out of it, one for the fan power and one for the RGB. So the tie-up on these is a little bit intense. Even with our Game DS fans that we typically use, those just have 1 cable coming out. So essentially we've got 7 fans with 14 cables. So it is going to be quite a bit to manage. However, these fans, the RGB part can daisy chain together. So it kind of helps that out. But these are probably one of the more intensive tie-ups that we have to do as far as fans goes. Thank you, Ginger Ale. That orange build is awesome. Yeah, it is behind us too, right here in the middle. Cosworth Art. You don't regret buying a Steam Deck because it has been a godsend the last 2 weeks, but it would have been nice to game on PC again. Yeah, that's fair. I've only seen a couple of those Steam Decks. When we went to a DreamHack a couple of years ago, one of our people that went with us, he brought his, and it was pretty cool. We were all playing like multiplayer games on it in the Airbnb. Hey Raven Spice. Raven Spice says, y'all, I just tested a motherboard I got for free that came with a CPU, cooler, and RAM, and it worked. That's awesome. Free parts that work. Those are the best parts. What are they? I'm gonna assume they're pretty old, but. I guess while you're tightening down those fans, Zach, I'm going to start organizing these cables. Now this is what made us want to do this build on stream, are these cables right here. So this customer ordered a black and green cable kit with their 1000 watt EVGA power supply. So these cables look awesome. I'm really glad to see them in a white build. You guys can see the green really pops on here. So with a modular power supply, the cables don't come pre-soldered in. So we're gonna go ahead and pick through these cables, get the ones we need for this build, and the rest will go in the accessory bag. That way if the customer ever upgrades, they'll have them there in the future. So obviously we're gonna need our video card cable. This does come with the new cable for the newer video cards. I just love the green on these cables. So we've got that. We'll get our motherboard 24 pin next because every build's gonna need one of those. Raven Spice, it was some kind of 6th gen i5 8GB DDR3 Intel stock cooler on a gigabyte H110. Hey, that's good. Especially for free. Obviously that is some older stuff, but I mean, that'd be a great workstation or even like a old school build. 24 pin. That should have a couple CPUs in here as well.
Yeah, it's a black and white build with green. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. I don't think I've ever seen green cables in a white build, so. All right, so we're just gonna start with these. I've got our 12 volt high power connector for our video card, the new 16 pin, our motherboard 24 pin, and then two. Does this board need two? Is it just one?
8 and 4.
8 and a 4? Yeah. So we're talking about our CPU power here. So this board has an 8 pin and a 4 pin for our CPU power. So what that means is these CPU cables are gonna have a 4+4 connector like I have here in my hand. Now typically it's gonna look like a regular 8 pin, but these do split apart into 2 4 pins. So. And some of these cables come with these cable combs pre-installed, which is nice. So like our 24 pin, these are the cable combs. You can see me sliding them down that are pre-installed. So you can adjust these how you need to for your build. These keep every single cable looking really nice and neat. So I'm gonna go ahead, a couple of these already have them pre-installed, but the ones that don't, I'm gonna put them on. So they are bright. Yeah, they are really so bright cables. Yeah, they look good. Oh, and the friend who shipped it all out, included a few extra CPUs and some RAMs. He just got extra parts on deck. That's awesome.
Nice.
Very nice.
That is how you build like one of your buddies a computer as well.
There you go.
We did that with our guild down in Houston. 2 of us had enough components that I think he only had to buy like a new power supply.
That's awesome.
And it was old parts, but like he was able to game with us.
Yeah, I was able to get going.
Yep. And yeah, that was real fun.
Yeah, that's been kind of a nice perk of working here as well. I've got like a stack of old hard drives and old video cards. So like I've had to like troubleshoot my system at home. I'm like, oh hey, I got one of those. I got one of those.
Let's,
easy to go.
Plug this in.
Yeah. Nice cables, thank you, Sasko. Yeah, these are nice cables. Oh, I'm using the right side, Zach. That is the right one, right? When you're looking at it this way.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Yeah, the right side one.
Sweet.
Here as well. RGB.
So I told you I've been playing a lot of Path of Exile, right? On the last one. So been doing a lot of that still, but we beat the game. We're in the end game stuff. Every time you die in that game, though, you lose 10% of your XP.
So
and
it's
so,
like Valheim, but
kind of,
like,
yeah.
that's even more intense.
I don't think you can go like, I don't think it will like de-level you. It'll just take you back to 0% of your current level. But I was like trying to get through this map the other night, and I died 4 times and lost like 40% experience.
Ooh, yeah, that definitely is like,
it
I'm done
hurts.
for the day.
Yeah, I'm playing like I'm level 85, and the level cap's up there. So 85 it's getting there, but
See,
yeah,
that's
it
what
felt
I wish-
super bad to just be like, oh, there goes half your level.
That's what I wish Call of Duty would have done. You remember back in the Modern Warfare, like rocket lobbies, just like team killing, just dudes just backing up with RPG and just team killing.
Yep.
And no consequences or anything. I'm like, man, that's what they should do. They should lose levels. They should start losing levels. All those dudes were prestige. And here I am, like half of a first prestige because
Like, what am I supposed to
great
do?
at the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot.
It's brutal because it takes so long to level up at the end, you know? It's like, dang. It's like a couple hours of gameplay, at least. No, I'm not playing hardcore, Ivory. I don't know how people play hardcore in that game. I get just popped sometimes, just out of nowhere. It's like, I don't know what, it went from 100 to 0. I would have to remake so many times. Yeah, Jimmy, it does come in handy having a spare parts closet. Are those just cases in the back? ASPXCT27. No, they are not just cases. These are fully built computers all behind us. Our giveaway is what's in the middle of me and Zach right now. Yep, and then our case right over there that you can see. Yep, right behind Zach. This is our brand new case. This is the XT. So you guys will definitely be seeing more of that. It's a really nice looking clean case, probably a mid-size. It's got some good RGB built into it, and it just looks really clean. And so the fun part of managing all the cables, all the fan cables right now, like we talked about a little bit earlier, we've got 7 fans and 14 cables in this build, so it will take a minute to get that tied up. Do we even need a SATA cable for this build? Since we've got these Intermax fans?
So.
Wow.
There's
Nice.
no hard drives, no SSDs, nothing of that sort. Then no, I think we're good.
Easy peasy.
So this is literally just CPU 24s and VGAs.
Video, yeah.
Yes.
We're doing it. This is the future.
This is oh yeah. And we have 4 terabytes on the motherboard. Dude, we don't have to put anything in here for a long time.
No, we're big chilling. Not recommend hardcore. Yeah, for sure. The fans look like throwing stars. Yeah, you could probably, if you broke them out of their frames, you could definitely throw them at some stuff. Oh, crazy thing. Speaking of throwing stars. So, been living in this house. We bought this house like a couple years ago, right? Like we've been in it for 2, maybe going on 3 years now. I'm mowing this last weekend, and I just like see this shiny thing on the ground. I'm like, oh, what is this? It's like a rusted throwing knife, like a throwing dagger.
Oh yeah?
That's like, how long, this has been here for years and just hasn't shut up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my kids, it was like sharp too. I was like, what is this? So I don't know if some other kid threw one in our yard or something. I don't know, but I'm glad my kids didn't find it. Yeah, right. It's evidence. I threw it away.
Calm down, OJ.
We like just got done swimming, and so I was like, yeah, we're gonna take this in. Yeah, if it was BTK's knife, oh my gosh. Well, it is wrapped up in a wet swim diaper now in the trash because I didn't want it to just be bare. Well, like, that's got to be a weird find if someone sees that. What's in this diaper? A knife. Scary. Yeah, right. I was gonna clean it up, but like this just seems weird. I got 2 little girls, so they don't need to be around that stuff. So
turn them,
just threw it away.
Turn them early, Paul.
Yeah, like here, you're 5. Throw this at that tree. Oh, whoops! It went over the neighbor's fence. Hopefully, it didn't hit the dog. That's the other thing too. Is like our dog is out there. I'm glad our dog didn't like pick it up. It's not worth cleaning up its crap metal. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it had some good weight to it, but it was rusting out, so I don't know.
Don't judge that line compared to that other line.
I already said the detectives are going to be very confused when the DNA pulls up of a baby. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I assume it's been out there the whole time, but it's weird. Graphics card next?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and put in this massive Gigabyte RTX 4080. This is the Eagle version, so that's referring to their cooler, which is why it's so big. So the Eagle version is typically like gray, kind of matte black with some blue accents. So this is a triple fan model, as you can see here, with these nice blue accents on it. Got a really nice backplate on here with a cutout for improved airflow. On the back of this card to the rear, we've got 3 display ports and 1 HDMI for our video out. So we'll go ahead and hand this off to Zach. You guys can see him install it. Now, this is still a pretty big, I shouldn't say pretty big case, but a mid-tier solid tower right here. And you can see how big this card is when it gets in there. Kind of dwarfs the case a little bit.
What would you rather have, Paul? A big case with little parts inside it, or a little case with big parts inside it?
Big case, little parts.
Big case, little parts.
Just because the tie-up on those little cases. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
I just leave the side panel off and have all the guts spilling out.
Yeah.
Ooh. Fresh code over on the kick side. MTSM-YU34. Jimmy says clean and sharpen the kitchen knives to scare off the boys. True. So with this card, obviously we're going to want to use an anti-sag bracket. So like we mentioned at the beginning of the build when we were getting the case prepped, this case does come with 2 versions of an anti-sag bracket, so you can kind of pick which one you like. One's a little bit less invasive, I would say. It's in the back, it's kind of hard to see. And then there's also this one in the front that can support it really well. So I believe we're going to use this front. We're going to see how we can mount it and get it on there. Now, the way Zach's doing, are you putting it on the side like how you just had it? So Zach is going to be able to mount this on the side, and that will make it us still get the full view of the graphics card from the side panel. So when I was doing these on my first time, I just had it in the front. I didn't even think about putting it on the side, but I think it does look better that way.
Makes more aerodynamic for when you're playing fighting video games.
True. Won't mess up my inputs. Are you putting some support on the Yes, silly artist. Sorry, I might have missed that question. That is what we are doing right now. So you can see that there. Hello, AO Proto. How you doing? Made it to 4,000. Let's go. Congrats, Fire Hazard. Good luck. Cosworth Art asks, speaking of cases, have you seen the Razer Tomahawk MITX case and its weird layout? Oh, yes, we have, right?
Which one?
The Razer Tomahawk. I'm assuming, yeah, the mini is the mini that we do an ITX, or is it an MATX?
The mini is an ITX.
Okay.
I don't think we've done it. if it's the ITX ones, then yeah, that's what we've done.
Mm-hmm. We have done those because we have the ATX version and the ITX version.
Yeah, those ones are kind of like a weird layout. You have an SFX power supply, and then you have like a weird bottom intake.
Okay.
And that's like one weird front intake. It's kind of, it is.
I don't think I've ever built one of those.
Oh my goodness, the tie-up is very difficult.
I think I had done one of the ATXs, the Tomahawk ATXs, but not the ITX. Let's get those rat jams in there. That's the best gift on kick right now. Rat jam. All right, so we've got our video card in. I probably should have got our power supply out a while ago, but we've just been having too much fun. So let's go ahead and get our power supply out. This is a fully modular EVGA 1000 watt 80 plus gold power supply. So we talked about power supplies a little bit earlier on in the show and what fully modular means. So what that means is this power supply comes out of the box without any cables installed. So we'll go ahead and get all this packaging off and show you all a little bit more. Ooh, and as we're getting this power supply out, a new code has been summoned by the great Ivory. VPRL-22SR. Make sure you get that in there. So this is our power supply, fully modular like I mentioned, so none of the cables are pre-soldered in. It comes with these ports for our cables to plug into. So these green cables that we've set aside, that's what these are going to plug into. This is still going to come with all the extra cables, so you've got a set if you want them. Obviously the green ones look a lot better, but we'll still have those if we, you know, if you ever wanted to use them. I don't know why, but you can. So with this obelisk case here, it's got this plate that you actually install on your power supply. That's what Zach's doing right here. And then that will just slide into the slot on the bottom, and then it'll be those two thumb screws on the left and right side. Winter announcement on Thursday? Yes, that is the plan. And I believe it's gonna end tomorrow, you know, probably tomorrow at the end of the day. So get your codes in, make sure you're following on all the social media so you don't miss one. Quirky Cube, are you drawing in this chat today? And if not, and it's a different date, and I missed the stream, will I be disqualified? No, Quirky Cube. So starting with your first question, we're not doing the drawing today. It's going to be on Thursday. And if you are not here, that is okay. You're going to get an email from us, but you do have to respond to that email within the first 24 hours, or we will get the draw again and someone else will win the PC. How many codes have been given so far? I do not know. You need 10, Firecracker needs 10 points to break 4,000. You're close. Yes, DJ should be back for the Thursday stream as well. Ortiz got 6,144. That is a lot. Blue Fleb needs 56 to break 7,000. Does anyone have more than 7,000? Just remember, it only takes one to win. So you could be that lucky person that just came in here, got a +1, and was like, all right, that's all I needed.
I'm a one and done type of a guy.
Cosworth Art asks, we might be getting a new Half-Life. Are you guys excited? I'm pretty apathetic. I have never played one of the Half-Life, so it's kind of whatever to me.
You orange boxed? Yeah.
Did you play some Half-Life?
On orange box?
On Orange Box?
Yeah, Half-Life 2.
I never played any Half-Lives at all. I skipped that whole series. Well, we appreciate it, Corky. Whoops. All right, so power supply is installed. You can see these beautiful black and green cables going in now. So we've obviously got our one for our video card there going in. This case has a nice hole in the bottom and the front there. You can slide the slack through. A lot of the cases are incorporating that now, which is nice. And the 24 pin, which in my opinion stands out the most in the case. It's just nice having all those there with the cable combs. That 24 pin cable's pretty beefy, huh? A lot to work through that grommet. I'm still kind of, I don't know how I feel about no SATA cables in this build. Like, is this the future? Is this the future we wanted? Right. I'm always down for less cables.
But this is pretty sick.
Hey, Anto Official, thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody in from Anto Official's channel. Appreciate you. Get some rat jams going for the raid, you know. So now that our video card is plugged in and our motherboard 24 pin, we are plugging in our 8-pin connector for our CPU. This motherboard does have an 8-pin and a 4-pin for CPU power, so that's what we're going to be working on next. Fire Hazard says, thank you for the codes. I have to do the Helldivers giveaway. Helldivers doing a giveaway now too? That's pretty sick. I still haven't touched Helldivers yet either. Been too into other games, but it did look cool. Corky Cube, did you make your own custom cables? Those are very nice. So these are, we did not make these cables. This is a kit from Cable Mod. They make awesome cable kits that come in every color under the sun. Me and Zach were really liking this build for the show because of the black and green. We see a lot of black and red, some black and blue, and both of those look really great when they match the aesthetic of the build. But these black and greens, I have not seen that often, and this green really pops. It's like, it's almost like it's just like neon glowing, honestly. Like it's really nice.
We call these irradiated.
Yeah, the irradiated build. They're giving away skins on screen. That's cool. Are there some pretty wild skins for Helldivers? Like, are they going just absolutely nuts with it, or is it kind of staying on theme with the game? I'd like to see some like Super Mario skin or something like that. I think I saw like something on Reddit with Helldivers, and they were doing some crazy like mod skins, and like the aliens that would charge in was like Thomas the Train Engine. It just came zooming in.
That was one of my favorite Skyrim mods. Was the dragons are all Thomas.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Just that opening intro. Just Thomas Tank.
Yeah, it's flying down. Yeah. Yeah, that's how this like Helldivers one. I think it was like one of those like spider looking ones, so it had like legs behind it and everything, and yeah, it was wild. Master Chief on Helldivers. Yeah, I think that might have been one of the mods that I had seen in that same clip. Hey Sea Acid, how you doing? Used to make mods for Skyrim. Good times. Yeah, the mods for Skyrim were great. Alrighty, so we're just finishing up some cable management here. These cable Zach's working on. Those are CPU powers coming out the back, but really clean build here. These Intermax fans are a little bit more effort to tie up, but I think they do look great. And the airflow they put out is really amazing. Corky Cube says, my friend plays with the Macho Man Randy Savage Dragon mod on Skyrim. That sounds awesome.
What?
Oh yeah.
Dude, cream will rise to the top.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, weren't you Macho Man for Halloween a couple of years ago? Yeah.
So good.
We typically do a costume contest here at work, and we get some good ones coming in.
Yeah. Who was it?
Well, we had Jose won one of them. Jose's one of our custom builders as well, and he came in as Pablo Escobar, and he had like a taped up bag of pancake mix. It looked very real.
He was really good.
Yeah, he won that one. I forget who won last year. I think Cam won it because he came in a bear onesie and he cheated. He brought in like his 2-year-old child who was also in the bear onesie, cheating, but he won.
See, I have a rule. My Halloween outfit I have to carry a weapon, so I always have to carry my bow.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh no.
I remember doing that the first year, and like the second year, one of the guys was like, I didn't realize we could bring weapons in, and he was like a knight, and he had his sword.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he did. He brought in like an actual claymore. We're like, oh, we're just not going to talk about it and let it be. I got to do something this Halloween, a little something different.
Dude, your Chester's one was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. I had a Chester the Cheeto guy onesie, and I went and bought a bunch of those, like, you know, single bags of Cheetos and was tossing them out to everybody. That was a good one. Onesies are easy. You just buy it, put it on, you're good to go. It's typically colder, you know, around Halloween too, so that was nice. Damon says, you brought an axe to work once, but they all thought it was fake till they heard me put it down.
Tink!
It didn't have an edge. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Well, you know what they say, a dull axe is more dangerous than a sharp axe.
That's why I'm the best crown in the cabinet.
Yeah. All right, so we're pretty much, well, we're finishing up with this build now. Everything's plugged in, everything's all good to go. So we'll go ahead and get our side panels on and make sure everything works. Our fans coming in. Yeah, look at that. Alrighty, well, we're pretty much near the end of the build, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and slap these panels on, get this thing turned on, and check out how it looks. Appreciate everybody being here today, getting your codes. Make sure to stick around for the after show with Zach. Who knows, there might be some more codes dropped in there. It's your last chance to get codes before the giveaway.
That is perfect. It's so good.
Yeah, I just love these cables. Thanks, Big Tree, appreciate it. Shiloh Dragon asks if they can have it. No, unfortunately, you cannot have this PC.
We should hire this person to do building consultations.
True.
And you can call them and be like, hey, this is how you
Check
build
it out.
a really sweet one with like 0 cables inside it.
Yeah, I did a pretty good job.
Where do we go?
How many PCs are in the background? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we've got in here now. We've got a lot in here right now.
Right there,
Getting
Jason?
this lined up.
Okay.
Alrighty, everybody. So now we are at the moment of truth. Did we plug in everything correctly? Yeah, the front panel's on. It's got a glass front panel. It's really transparent, so it kind of looks non-existent, honestly, on the screen, but it is there. Here we go. Love these Intermax fans. They're pretty. They're kind of similar to the M2s, I think, but the color on them just looks really great, and the white just matches the case very nicely. So.
Real bright. Real bright.
Very nice build today. We're pretty excited to build this one, especially because of the black and green cables that we just keep talking about. But yeah, everything looks great. These fans are super quiet too. Like I can't even tell that it's on from standing right here.
It would be sweet a black light, because I feel like these are like a neon green, to where they would like be a pretty cool color.
Make it green. We will be able to make this green, but we do have to get the software installed on it first, since we have tied all of our RGB to our motherboard. So power cycle a couple bit there, and then we'll be good to go. So alrighty guys, well this pretty much is the conclusion of the main show today. So appreciate everybody hanging out and getting your codes for the last day of the giveaway. So make sure to come back on Thursday for the drawing, and stick around for the after show with Zach. He's got a really awesome build to do for you next. So appreciate everybody being here. Hope you all have a great rest of your week, and we will see you guys on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye bye.